What if everything you've been told about the origins of humanity is nothing more than a carefully constructed lie? Imagine a world where ancient civilizations, thought to be myths, actually existed long before the story of Adam and Eve was written. What if the timeline you've been taught, one that places the dawn of humanity just 6,000 years ago, was not just incomplete, but deeply misleading? As you begin to grasp this truth, you'll feel a shift deep within. An undeniable pull that forces you to question everything you've ever believed. Can you feel it? The faint stir of a truth that has been buried for centuries, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered. What if our ancestors, long before recorded history, possessed knowledge that was far beyond what we could ever imagine? What if this knowledge still has the power to change the course of our lives today? In this video, we will dive into the forbidden history of humanity. We will uncover archaeological evidence that challenges the traditional biblical chronology, revealing ancient settlements, advanced societies, and technologies that should not exist according to the official narrative. You will witness how modern science and ancient wisdom collide, and how the truth has been carefully erased from public consciousness. Prepare to confront the contradictions of religious texts, the mysteries of lost civilizations, and the astonishing power of human potential that has been hidden from us for millennia. Get ready to be shocked, to be awakened, and to realize that the ancient knowledge of humanity may hold the key to unlocking the greatest secrets of our existence. Stay with me, for what you will discover here will change everything you thought you knew about where we come from and where we're headed. As we journey into this world of hidden truths, take a moment to reflect. What if the true origins of humanity lie not in the physical world we see, but in the consciousness that transcends time itself? What if everything we've been told is just the surface of a much deeper, more profound reality? The answers are waiting. All you have to do is open your mind and join the exploration. You won't just be learning history here. You'll be unearthing a power that's been waiting for you. So, as we embark on this incredible journey, drop a comment below with your thoughts. Do you believe there's more to our history than we've been taught? And don't forget to subscribe and like. This is just the beginning. The story of humanity's true origins is about to unfold before your eyes. The hidden origins of humanity. Imagine a world where the story you've been taught, the narrative you've accepted as truth, begins to crumble before your eyes. The timeline you thought was set in stone, the biblical chronology that places Adam and Eve as the first humans, falls apart with every new discovery. What if the history of humanity stretches far beyond the pages of Genesis? What if, for millennia, a vast and sophisticated civilization thrived long before the biblical creation event, and the evidence has been buried, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to unearth it? In the ancient sands of Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, archaeological evidence lies waiting to be uncovered. Artifacts, tools, and structures buried deep beneath the earth challenge everything we thought we knew. Carbon dating points to human settlements that predate the biblical timeline by thousands of years. Human agriculture, complex societies, and intricate systems of knowledge were flourishing on Earth, and yet this is not the story we've been taught. There, amidst the ruins of Göbekli Tepe, an ancient stone temple complex that predates Stonehenge by thousands of years, lies proof of humanity's ancient potential. These massive stone pillars, each weighing over 20 tons, are not simply remnants of primitive efforts. They stand as monuments to a people who understood the stars, who possessed an astronomical knowledge that rivals our own, yet they are not included in the story we have inherited. These are the remnants of a civilization that has been lost to time, its true significance buried by the sands of ignorance. And this isn't the only discovery. The caves of Lascaux in France, where ancient humans left intricate paintings, tell a story of a people who understood their world in ways we have only just begun to appreciate. The artwork, which dates back over 30,000 years, is not primitive. It is sophisticated, rich in detail, and filled with symbolism that suggests a deep connection to the universe. The artists who created these images possessed knowledge of their surroundings and their place in the cosmos that far exceeds what we expect from such early human societies. These discoveries, these pieces of the puzzle, demand that we reconsider the entire narrative of humanity's origins. If civilizations existed thousands of years before Adam and Eve, then where do these people fit into the biblical timeline? Could it be that the traditional understanding of the creation story is incomplete, that it represents only one chapter in a much longer and more intricate history of humanity's development? What if these civilizations were part of a grand design, a story that has been deliberately hidden from us, passed down in secret and obscured by the powers that be? The evidence is right in front of us, yet we have been taught to ignore it, to dismiss it as myth or legend. But the more we explore, the more undeniable it becomes. The truth about our origins is out there, waiting to be discovered. This revelation isn't just about uncovering the past, it is about unlocking the hidden potential within us all. For if these ancient civilizations possessed such profound knowledge, if they understood the stars, the earth, and their own consciousness in ways that modern science is only now beginning to grasp, what might we learn from them? What if we could tap into that same knowledge, that same power, and apply it to our lives today? As we peel back the layers of history, we begin to see a pattern emerging, a pattern that ties us to these ancient civilizations, a thread that connects us to their wisdom and their achievements. It's a pattern that transcends time and space, a connection that stretches across millennia. And it is this connection, this deep, inherent link to our ancestors, that holds the key to unlocking our true potential. Discrepancies in biblical narratives. Now we must turn our attention to the most controversial aspect of this hidden history, the contradictions within the biblical narrative itself. For generations, we have accepted the Genesis account as the foundation of our understanding of human origins. We have been told that Adam and Eve were the first humans, created in a single moment by a divine hand. But what happens when we take a closer look at the text, when we allow ourselves to question its interpretation? Genesis 4:17 tells us that Cain, after being cast out of Eden, went on to build a city and found a wife. But if Adam and Eve were the first humans, where did Cain's wife come from? Who were the people that inhabited the cities Cain built? The text doesn't give us clear answers, and many scholars have been quick to overlook or dismiss these questions. But what if these discrepancies are not errors, but signs that point to a much deeper, more complex story? The Nephilim, those mysterious giants mentioned in Genesis 6:4, provide another clue. According to the text, the Nephilim existed both before and after the Great Flood, suggesting that there were other beings, perhaps even other human populations, living on Earth long before Noah's flood. The ancient Hebrew scholars themselves recognized the inconsistencies in the Genesis account, developing elaborate theological explanations to account for them. But in modern times, many of these interpretations have been abandoned or forgotten. What if these references to pre-flood populations are not just allegorical but literal? What if the Nephilim, those ancient giants, were not the stuff of myth, but real beings who once roamed the earth? The idea that these beings, these giants, were part of the ancient civilizations that predate the biblical creation story begins to make sense when we look at the archaeological evidence that points to the existence of advanced societies long before Adam and Eve were supposedly created. The contradictions within the biblical text are not just about historical discrepancies. They point to something far more profound. These inconsistencies challenge us to look beyond the surface, to ask questions that have long been suppressed and ignored. What if these ancient civilizations and the knowledge they possessed hold the key to understanding our true origins and our potential as human beings? What if the Genesis account is not a literal truth, but a symbolic representation of a much broader and more complex story? In exploring these contradictions, we begin to realize that there is more to the biblical narrative than we have been taught. The story of Adam and Eve, the creation of the world, and the fall from grace are not isolated events. They are part of a much larger tapestry, a story that spans across cultures, across time, and across the very fabric of human consciousness. The hidden truths about our origins are out there, waiting to be uncovered, and it is only by questioning the accepted narrative that we can begin to unlock them. As we continue on this journey, we must be willing to challenge the stories we have been told, to look beyond the surface and see the deeper patterns that have been obscured from our view. It is only by embracing this truth, by acknowledging the hidden history of humanity, that we can begin to unlock the full potential of who we are. And in doing so, we may discover that the key to our future lies not in the past, but in the wisdom that has been passed down to us through the ages. Let us then embark on this journey together as we uncover the secrets of our past, and in doing so, awaken the dormant power within ourselves. The truth is waiting to be revealed, and it is only by embracing it that we can truly begin to understand who we are and what we are capable of. The time has come to uncover the hidden history of humanity, and in doing so, unlock the power that has been waiting for us all along. Ancient texts and global knowledge. The threads of humanity's past are woven not just in the bones of the earth, but in the ancient texts that have survived millennia. Imagine for a moment the echoes of a forgotten history, preserved not in our modern libraries or classrooms, but in the sacred scrolls and carved stones of civilizations long lost. These texts, once revered by the greatest minds of antiquity, whisper of a time when knowledge transcended boundaries, when humans possessed wisdom far beyond our wildest dreams. And yet for centuries these texts were obscured, ignored, and hidden away. But now the veil is lifting, and we can hear their voices calling to us from across time. Consider the Sumerian king list etched in clay more than 4,000 years ago. It tells the story of rulers who reigned for hundreds of thousands of years, their wisdom passed down through generations. This is not the tale of simple shepherds and farmers, but of a civilization that understood the stars, the earth, and the very forces that shaped the cosmos. Yet we have been told to dismiss these accounts as myths, fabrications of an overzealous imagination. But what if they aren't? What if these ancient texts are not just stories, but records of real events, of real knowledge? Across the world, in the deserts of Egypt, the temple walls of Karnak and the pyramids of Giza stand as silent witnesses to the same story. The Egyptians, too, speak of dynasties that stretch back tens of thousands of years. In the Turin king list, we are told of rulers who governed Egypt for millennia, their reigns spanning epochs. These are not the lifetimes of kings and queens we know, but something far grander, a deep connection to time itself. What does it mean for humanity to possess such an intimate understanding of time? And yet, much of this history has been buried, hidden in plain sight, as though too powerful, too sacred to be acknowledged by the world at large. The Mayans, too, recorded their knowledge of the stars, of cycles that spanned millions of years. Their long count calendar speaks of time scales far beyond anything our modern world can comprehend. These ancient peoples were not primitive. They were philosophers, scientists, and spiritual leaders who understood the cosmos in ways we are only beginning to appreciate. The same is true for the ancient Chinese, whose historical records reach back beyond the biblical timeline, telling stories of emperors, sages, and celestial knowledge. These ancient texts, Sumerian, Egyptian, Mayan, Chinese, are not isolated myths. They are the scattered fragments of a global tapestry, a record of humanity's lost wisdom. And in each of these civilizations, we find common threads: advanced understanding of astronomy, of agriculture, of human consciousness, that point to a far greater understanding of the world than we've been led to believe. This wisdom was not confined to a single region or culture. It spanned the globe, and it calls us to remember what has been forgotten. But what happens when we ignore these texts, when we dismiss them as mere legend? We lose the keys to our own potential, to the very understanding that could propel humanity to new heights. The ancient wisdom of these civilizations isn't just historical trivia, it is the map to the future. What if we could reclaim this knowledge? What if we could apply it to our lives today? Imagine the breakthroughs we could achieve in science, technology, and human consciousness. The ancient world didn't just build pyramids and temples, they built systems of knowledge that could still illuminate our path forward. The question we must ask ourselves is this: are we willing to embrace the truth of our past, to look beyond the conventional story we've been taught, and to rediscover the wisdom that has been waiting for us all along? Modern science and ancient wisdom. It is in the meeting of ancient wisdom and modern science that the true potential of humanity begins to reveal itself. For centuries, we have lived in a world that values the empirical, the tangible, the measurable. We've built cities and technologies, we've mapped the stars, and we've explored the deepest corners of our planet. But what if there's more to our understanding of reality than science alone can explain? What if the ancients, with their profound spiritual practices and deep understanding of consciousness, were tapping into a force that modern science is only beginning to scratch the surface of? In the study of consciousness, we are beginning to uncover what the ancient sages knew all along: that our perception of reality is not fixed, that the mind has the ability to transcend the physical world and tap into higher realms of existence. Modern neuroscience, with its advanced tools and techniques, is now revealing the power of the human mind to shape our experience, to influence our bodies, and to access realms of knowledge that were once thought to be the stuff of fantasy. Take, for example, the work being done on the pineal gland, once thought to be a vestigial organ with little purpose. Today, we know that the pineal gland plays a crucial role in the production of melatonin and serotonin, influencing our sleep patterns, mood, and even our connection to spiritual experiences. The ancients knew this, and they revered the pineal gland as the seat of the soul, the gateway to higher consciousness. What if their practices, meditation, fasting, sacred geometry, were designed not just to enhance physical health, but to awaken the latent powers of the mind? Quantum physics, too, is beginning to validate what ancient spiritual traditions have always believed: that the universe is not just a collection of material objects, but a vast, interconnected web of energy and consciousness. The observer effect, a fundamental principle of quantum mechanics, suggests that the act of observation can influence the behavior of particles, implying that our consciousness plays an active role in shaping the reality we experience. This idea that consciousness can influence the physical world is at the heart of many ancient teachings, from the Vedic traditions of India to the mystical practices of the ancient Egyptians. But it's not just science that is revealing the power of consciousness. The study of psychedelics, plant medicines, and altered states of awareness is providing us with a glimpse into the ways in which ancient cultures accessed expanded states of consciousness. From the use of ayahuasca in the Amazon to the sacred rituals of the Native American Church, these practices were not mere superstition. They were sophisticated technologies for exploring the mind and unlocking the hidden potential within. And as modern science begins to catch up, we are learning that these ancient practices may hold the key to unlocking the full range of human abilities. Imagine a world where we no longer see science and spirituality as separate realms, but as two sides of the same coin, each offering insights into the mysteries of life. What if we could harness the knowledge of the ancients, combining it with the discoveries of modern science, to create a future that is more enlightened, more connected, and more aware of the vast potential within each of us? The possibilities are limitless, but to do so, we must be willing to challenge the conventional narrative, to question the limits of what we've been taught, and to embrace the idea that humanity's true potential lies not just in our physical achievements, but in the awakening of our consciousness. The truth of our past is waiting to be rediscovered, and it is through this rediscovery that we will unlock the next stage of human evolution. The question is no longer whether we have the ability to achieve greatness, but whether we are willing to open our minds and hearts to the wisdom that has been hidden from us for so long. The journey of rediscovery is not just about uncovering the secrets of the past. It is about awakening the power within ourselves and using that power to create a future that reflects the highest potential of humanity. Are we ready to reclaim our birthright, to tap into the ancient wisdom that lies within us all, and to awaken to the truth of who we really are? The choice is ours. The cyclical rise and fall of civilizations. As you delve deeper into the annals of history, a pattern begins to emerge, one that stretches across cultures, continents, and epochs. It is a pattern that has been obscured by time, ignored by those who prefer a linear narrative of progress, but the truth is undeniable. Civilizations rise, flourish, and then fall, only to rise again. This cyclical pattern, like the rhythms of the earth, is woven into the very fabric of human existence. We see it in the mighty empires of the past, whose wisdom and greatness seem almost to exist in cycles of creation and destruction, and we see it mirrored in the quiet, unspoken movements of the universe itself. What if this cyclical rise and fall is not a random occurrence, but a deep, intrinsic law that governs the fate of humanity? The fall of ancient civilizations, from the Sumerians to the Mayans, seems almost inevitable, a powerful force, like the pull of gravity, that draws them into decline once their wisdom and knowledge have reached their peak. Yet, it's within this cycle that the deepest truths are revealed. The Egyptians, for example, with their incredible monuments, their profound understanding of astronomy, and their mysterious spiritual practices, rose to greatness, only to fade into obscurity, their knowledge lost to the sands of time. Yet the wisdom of their people continues to influence us today. Their knowledge wasn't lost, it was preserved. Hidden away in texts, in symbols, in the whispers of those who lived long after them, this ancient wisdom has found its way into the hands of a few, awakening in them the power of creation. It's a force that cycles, regenerating through the centuries, waiting for us to awaken to its full potential once more. But why does this cycle occur? Why do civilizations reach their peak only to crumble beneath their own weight? The answer lies in the very nature of human consciousness. We are creatures of awareness, and as our societies advance, so too does our understanding of the world around us. Yet, with that advancement comes a cost. Our connection to the very forces that allow us to flourish. The more advanced we become, the more disconnected we become from the very consciousness that brought us here. This disconnection, this loss of spiritual understanding, is what leads to the inevitable decline of even the most powerful civilizations. The lesson is clear. True greatness is not found in technological advancement alone, but in the balance between spiritual wisdom and physical achievement. We must learn to integrate the wisdom of the ancients, the knowledge that has been preserved in sacred texts, in the symbols of lost civilizations, and in the very consciousness that binds us all into our modern lives. Only then can we break free from the cycle of rise and fall and move into a new era of enlightened human existence. As we look to the future, we must ask ourselves, are we repeating the same mistakes as those who came before us? Are we sacrificing our spiritual wisdom for the sake of progress? The ancient civilizations knew the cost of this imbalance, and their rise and fall can serve as both a warning and a guide to us. We must find a way to integrate their knowledge into our lives before it's too late. Consciousness and human potential. Now, we stand on the precipice of a new era. The cycles of the past have brought us to this moment, and the question remains, what will we do with the knowledge we have uncovered? What will we do with the vast potential that lies dormant within each of us? The ancients knew the answer. They understood that human potential is not limited to the physical body, but is tied to the very essence of consciousness itself. They knew that the mind, the soul, the very consciousness that drives us, holds the key to unlocking unimaginable power. Imagine for a moment that you are not just a body, but a vessel for infinite potential, a potential that extends far beyond what you have been taught to believe. What if the true power of humanity lies not in external technologies, but within each of us? What if the key to unlocking this power is not in the tools we create, but in the way we unlock the power of our own consciousness? The ancients understood this deeply. They didn't just build pyramids or temples, they built systems of knowledge designed to awaken and expand human consciousness. They knew that consciousness itself is the ultimate technology, the force that shapes reality itself. The pyramids of Egypt, the sacred geometry of the Mayans, and the meditation practices of the ancient Buddhists all were designed to awaken this latent power within. In our modern world, science is beginning to catch up. Quantum physics, with its exploration of the nature of reality, has uncovered what the ancients knew all along, that consciousness is not separate from the physical world, but intricately intertwined with it. The observer effect, a fundamental principle of quantum mechanics, shows us that our consciousness can directly influence the world around us. This is the very essence of the power the ancients harnessed, the ability to shape reality through focused awareness. But how do we unlock this power? The answer lies in understanding that our consciousness is a tool that when used properly can shape our experiences, our health, and even our environment. The ancients understood this deeply, and their teachings were designed to guide us in harnessing this power. Through practices like meditation, fasting, and sacred rituals, they taught us how to expand our awareness, to transcend the limitations of the physical world, and to connect with the divine. Today, modern science is beginning to validate these ancient practices. Neuroscience shows us that practices like meditation can rewire the brain, enhancing cognitive function and emotional resilience. We now know that consciousness is not just a passive observer of reality, but an active participant in the creation of it. This is the key to unlocking human potential, understanding that we are not bound by the physical world, but that we have the power to shape it. As we stand on the threshold of a new era, we must ask ourselves, will we continue to live in the old paradigm where our potential is limited by external circumstances, or will we embrace the truth of our infinite potential, as the ancients did? The power is within us, waiting to be unlocked, and it is through the awakening of our consciousness that we will unlock the future of humanity. The time has come for us to remember who we truly are, to remember the power that lies dormant within us all. And as we awaken to this truth, we will begin to realize that the true potential of humanity is not in the machines we build or the technology we create, but in the very consciousness that drives us. This is the ultimate truth, the key to our future, and the key to unlocking the power of human potential. As we stand at the edge of a new dawn, where the mysteries of the past beckon and the promise of the future shines brighter than ever, it is time to ask ourselves, what kind of world will we create? Will we continue down the path that limits us to a narrow, constrained understanding of who we are and where we come from, or will we choose to expand our awareness, to awaken to the boundless potential within us? The truths we've uncovered today are not just lessons of ancient history, they are the keys to unlocking the doors of our deepest consciousness, They are the whispers of our ancestors, calling us to remember what we have forgotten, to reconnect with the wisdom that has always been within us. From the lost civilizations of the Sumerians to the spiritual practices that transcend time, we've witnessed the power of ancient knowledge and modern science converging to reveal a path forward that was once hidden in plain sight. What if I told you that the same wisdom that once guided these ancient peoples is available to us right now, today? What if the hidden truths of the universe, the very secrets that have been buried under centuries of misinformation, were waiting for us to unlock them? What if the greatest power within us is not our technology, but our consciousness, the very energy that creates and shapes the reality we experience? This is the gift of the journey we are on. It is not just a journey through the past, but a journey within ourselves, a journey to reclaim the latent power that has always been ours. As we awaken to the potential within us, we find that we are not mere spectators in this world, but active participants in the unfolding of the universe itself. Our thoughts, our intentions, our consciousness, these are the forces that shape our destiny. It's easy to get lost in the noise of daily life, to become consumed by the distractions of the world. But the truth is, the answers we seek are not outside of us. They have always been within. Every ancient civilization that flourished knew this. Whether they were building towering pyramids in Egypt, mapping the stars in Sumer, or decoding the mysteries of time in the Mayan calendar, they knew that the true power of humanity lies not in what we can create with our hands, but in what we can create with our minds and hearts. And so, as we face the challenges of our modern world, we must remember this truth. We are the creators of our reality. We have the power to choose. We have the power to awaken to our highest potential. This is the moment, the turning point in history, where we must decide to embrace our true power and step into the light that has always been waiting for us. But we cannot do this alone. The journey ahead requires all of us, each one of us, working together to uncover the truth, to share the wisdom that has been hidden from us for far too long. And as we continue on this path, we must support one another. We must create a community of light, of awakening, of expansion. If this video has touched your soul, if it has opened your eyes to the possibilities that lie ahead, then I ask you to support this journey in whatever way you can. Your energy, your engagement, your comments, these are the fuel that keeps this mission alive. If you feel this video has brought value to your life, if it has helped you see the world in a new light, I invite you to share that energy with me, so I can continue creating content that uplifts, that inspires, and that brings us all closer to the truth. Every like, every comment, every share, it all helps keep this light shining brightly for others to see. Together we are building something beautiful, a new world, a world of awareness, of higher consciousness, and of limitless potential. And the first step in that journey is always the most powerful one, the decision to awaken, the decision to believe that something greater is possible, and the decision to take that first step toward a new reality. So I ask you, are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to unlock the power within you, to reconnect with the wisdom of the ancients, and to begin the journey toward your true potential? The choice is yours. And as we move forward, let us remember that the answers have always been with us. The truth is not a destination, it is a journey. And together, we will walk that path, embracing the light and the wisdom that have been waiting for us all along. If you feel this video has opened your heart, touched your spirit, and brought you closer to the truth of who you really are, then I ask you to show your support by liking and subscribing. Your energy makes all the difference in keeping this message alive. Thank you, from the deepest part of my heart, for walking this journey with me. The light is growing, and we are on the verge of a great awakening. Let us continue to share this energy, this truth, and this power with the world. and may the light that we have found here shine ever brighter.